does not mean it's not important. So often, some of the most important things that happen are actually the parts of the body that are least celebrated or least visible. I'll give you an example. Some of you probably feel like a Gideon. If you don't know what a Gideon is a title for people who are part of an organization that hand out Bibles all over the world. If you've ever been to a hotel room and pulled out your little drawer and there's a Bible in there, it's probably a Gideon Bible. People give and they pray and they work, and then there are some people that are Gideons, they actually go out and they hand out Bibles. What I've always thought about the Gideons is, how do you ever know if you make a difference? You get a Bible in a hotel room and you never hear the story. You hand Bibles out on a college campus and you never hear a story. Hand a Bible, hand a Bible, hand a Bible. Sometimes people would spit on you. Most of the time they'd take what you give them and throw it away or just kind of walk on by. Some of you feel like a Gideon. Well, what I hope you'll recognize is this, that there was a Gideon, who knows who this Gideon was, but in the year 1988 at Oklahoma City University, he handed me a green Bible. And that little green Bible in the King James language, which is tough to get saved reading King James, okay? Reading King James language, I read through Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, I read all the way to Ephesians chapter 2. And this guy, who was as messed up and is hurting. Listen, we don't judge people who do bad things. I was the people who did bad things. They could just be a miracle waiting to happen. I was that miracle waiting to happen. I read about the grace of Jesus and my life was completely changed. And that man, whoever he was, would have never ever known that story until recently, when someone did some research and went back to find out who was the Gideon handing out Bibles at Oklahoma City University. And I want to show you a photo of Mike, the Gideon, who was handing out Bibles back at Oklahoma City University. And we're not 100% sure that he's the person, but we're about 99% sure he was most likely the person years ago that gave me the Bible. And when we met, for me to tell him thank you for doing something that would have gone unappreciated for years, and for him to look back with tears in his eyes and say, I had no idea if anything I ever did really made a difference. And for me to get to tell him, what you did changed my life and in turn changed other people's lives. Listen, other people may not ever know what your gift does. They may not ever know that you prayed for them. You may not ever know what your investment in a teenager on a Wednesday night at Switch does. You may never know that one smile when someone walked in and felt so nervous, so uncomfortable, so afraid to be in church, that one moment of welcome helped them come back again. Just because what you do is not visible does not mean it's not important.